Hey, welcome. I want to start with a question that might just stop you in your tracks. Did you know that God has no grandchildren? It's a surprising thought, isn't it? And if you're an African parent raising your children here in Germany, this message is especially for you. So let's dive into what that really truly means.
All right, first up, let's just take a moment for some real, honest reflection. This isn't about judgment at all. It's about looking inward at the most important job we will ever have, being a parent. So I want you to just take a deep breath with me and really think about this. If God, with all of his grace and mercy, if he treated you with the same words, the same level of patience, the same actions that you use with your child, would you still be here today? Yeah, it's a heavy question, I know, but it's one we absolutely need to hold on to. Okay, now let's talk about the reality of raising kids here in Germany, because things are different. The system is completely different, and we have to be so aware of the environment our children are actually growing up in. The clock is ticking. And here's the absolute crucial point. We can't just assume our kids are soaking up our values because they live under our roof. That's just not how it works. They're surrounded by other influences all day long. And what that means is our parenting has to be intentional, really intentional. Just like faith isn't automatically inherited, our values have to be actively, lovingly passed on. And here's why that intention is so incredibly critical. If you just look at a typical day for your child, you'll see how little time we actually have. I mean, a huge chunk is spent at school or kindergarten. Another huge chunk is for sleep. What's left for us for that direct, meaningful interaction? It's shockingly small. In reality, it often boils down to this: 1 to 2 hours. That might be all the quality time you actually get on any given day. So the real question isn't just whether you're a parent, but what kind of parent are you being in those precious limited hours? And this is where things can get absolutely heartbreaking. This is a real quote from a parent, someone who was completely devastated and convinced they had done nothing wrong. And yet their family was separated by the Youth Welfare Office, the Jugendamt. And this shows the dangerous disconnect. On one side, you've got the parents' reason, this is our culture. But on the other side, the official report says physical and emotional abuse. This is that dangerous gap between our own perception and the reality of the system we're living in. And it's a gap that can tear families apart. So let's be crystal clear about this word, discipline. Real, true discipline is about teaching and guiding a child with love and always, always preserving their dignity. It is never about violence or threats or fear. It's about raising up one of God's children, not breaking the spirit of someone you think you own. Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we start to bridge that gap? Well, it all starts with a simple but really profound shift in how we see things. I want you to just think about this for a second. What if you treated your children like honored guests in your home? With patience and kindness and respect. Because the truth is, their time with you is temporary. They're on loan to you. And one day, they will leave. This simple shift in thinking leads to some really critical questions. Do your children feel safe with you? Genuinely loved and respected? Do they feel heard? Or, and you have to be honest with yourself here, are they just counting down the days until they can get out and leave? The answer to that question changes everything. But just thinking differently isn't enough. We have to start acting differently. So, here's a new path forward with some really practical steps for how to engage with German institutions when they get in touch. If the school or the Jugendamt calls, don't walk in with your fists up, ready for a fight. Walk in with curiosity. Go in there with some humility and just ask, how can I do better? Ask what kind of support is available for your family. Show them that you want to be a partner in your child's well-being. Believe me, this approach can be the difference between a crisis and a solution. And this is a truth we just have to stand on. Our beautiful, rich culture is not an excuse to cause harm, and our sacred faith is not a weapon to justify it. Even the Bible teaches correction with love, not punishment with fear. And all of this, it brings us to the most important strategy of all, prevention. The goal is to never get that crisis call in the first place. And the key to prevention is knowing that you don't have to do any of this alone. This is exactly why communities like the Parent Compass are so vital. It was founded by Vera Sompon, and it's a safe space for African parents to learn and share and grow together without any judgment as they navigate the unique challenges of raising kids here in Germany. When it comes down to it, you have two clear options. You can choose community support right now, which is preventive, it's empowering, and it's on your own terms. Or you can wait and potentially face institutional support later, which is reactive, challenging, and born out of a crisis. The choice really seems clear, doesn't it? As the old saying goes, prevention is so much better than cure. Why wait for a fire to start when you can learn fire safety today?
So let's bring it all back to the core message here. Be kind. Be present in those few hours you have. Be open to learning. And always, always remember, your children are not your property. They are not God's grandchildren who just inherit a relationship with him through you. No, they are God's children, each with their own direct connection to him, just like you. And that leaves us with one final thought to sit with. When your children are all grown up and have left your home, what kind of legacy will they carry with them? Will it be a legacy of fear and control, or will it be one of love, dignity, and respect?
So please, don't try to walk this path alone. If any of this has spoken to you, take that next step. Join the Parent Compass. Find the support you need, because strong families are what build strong communities. The link is right there in the description. Thank you so much for your time.